looking at betting or forex trading.
Betting or
forex trading, which is a real threat to your money. You understand? So a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians are on the betting wagon, jumping on the betting wagon these days. Likewise. Forex trading. Now I understand the comparison. You're wondering what does betting have to do with forex, right? But they are both quick, high risk, but quick money. What's the word? Money returns, money investments. Let me use the word investments lightly, right? So we are looking to actually speak to it and align on which side of the fence is better, acknowledging they are both of high risk investments anyways, and
we'll be looking at it from the returns, the dangers and opportunities.
Yes, we're looking at.
Or we'll be looking at it from the spiritual angle. If we're looking at it from the spiritual angle, the one that everybody sees as wrong.
No, unfortunately, we are not in church. We are not in church. Unfortunately, if not, I'm happy to go spiritual. And this morning we have Ekundayo Oluwatoyosi, who is the founder and CEO of Gold Elite Innovations Deals. It's a financial literacy company where they provide and empower financial growth and generally the future of finance as a whole. So welcome to Everyday Money Matters.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, good morning. We're glad to have you here. So on the surface of things, with what we said so far,
I was just quiet because I had a lot.
You have a lot to say.
Man,
better for everybody then. Yeah. Better for everybody. And, let's even go straight into it, right? So some argue that banning or reducing sports betting in Nigeria could actually help strengthen the naira. Do you agree? On how exactly does that interact with our currency value?
For me, I don't see the particular correlation between the value of the naira against sports betting. Yeah. So I personally do not bet, so I really would not be able to relate. Let me use that word. Okay. But from an open point of view, I think that it doesn't have anything to do with it. One. Two, I just would think that it has risks involved, right? When it comes to betting, whatever. So if it's more about individual preferences, so it really doesn't have anything to do with affecting the naira value, basically.
Okay, fair enough. Most of this conversation really was inspired by a lot of questions. Some of our audience have been asking in regards to this topic. We had this. There was a brief conversation. We had this on social media. So the bulk of these questions are actually, questions asked. So, but we both know betting and forex trading of high risk, or should I say quick money, plays, right? So do you see similarities between the two in terms of risks, addiction, and hope of overnight blowing, let me say?
So first off, I think this is like a whole lot of misconception that people carry.
Yeah.
And it's good that we have interviews like this or sessions like this where we get to talk about stuff like that. So for me, first off, trading and betting are not in the same context.
Yeah.
So now, one thing people, when it comes to making money, people have an imaginary way of how they want to make money. And it doesn't even cut across just trading alone. If you scale it down to you being in school, as an undergraduate, you already have this unforeseen plan that, okay, when you're done with school, this is how much money you probably make with your degree. This is how you want your life to go and all. So humans usually set crazy expectations when it comes to making money. But if you understand that trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme, it requires you to actually acquire the skill set, and over time you can, build confidence to a certain level where you're able to make money. Now, the making money thing is not an everyday thing. I tell people every time that when it comes to this whole trading of thing, you're not going to make money every single day. But there are days where, you're unable to make money. There are days where you make money. But overall, if you are able to follow a simple, consistent rule, at the end of a whole month, you stand floating. So it's more about, okay, how consistent are you? Have you gathered enough skills so that you understand the risks involved? Now, when people say, "Oh, like it has high risks," which high risk investment, but then you can also reduce your risks.
Yeah.
So, like I usually say, it's more about individual preferences at the end of the day. So most people, it's normal because human wants are insatiable. So at some point you'd get greedy. So during that process of you being greedy, you would want to probably do something to make more money for yourself. But if you continue with the same momentum throughout the rest of the month and then you acquire skill, most people just trade without having knowledge, or they prefer to give people their money so that they can blame them for their own failures.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's actually where the POV is, this point of view, right? It's from the point of view of the individual, the average individual, not knowing how to trade, you understand, with Forex. So it's more of them scratching the surface, which makes it as easy, which makes it easier to bring in the betting comparison in, right? Because, I mean, the average person that is betting, right, just picks his or her odds on, on their platform, same application for a Forex trader with little or no knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So they just click, and you get your money quick, right? And in some cases where people say they would rather go for betting, right, than Forex trading,
yeah.
because they feel they actually have more understanding and the money is quicker, right? Without understanding the fact that Forex trading has to come with some form of skill, learning, and longevity, right? To a certain degree.
Long term.
Yeah. So people keep on saying betting is pure chance. You get, while Forex trading is at least requires some skill. So is Forex really that different in this context, right? Is it really that different, or can it also just be as speculative and risky as betting?
Okay, so there are a lot of things that affect trading, right? For instance, there could be news releases, which are like fundamentals, and there could be the technical aspect. Now, like I said, I'm not really into the betting world, but I'm going to say, on a larger point of view, I don't think there's any fundamental per se that can affect the result or the outcome of, if for instance now they bombed, God forbid, a country, whatever, and then maybe there's a football going somewhere, it really doesn't affect them from stopping that football match.
Yes.
But then if that happens in the trading side of it, it could affect how the market would move based on whatever any person says, maybe how influential the person is, and they say something, it could affect the move in the market. So for me, people are out there in New York, Wall Street, actually sitting down every day and trading. So if you are able to sit down and actually learn the skill, you can make a certain amount of money from it. So like there is a vast difference between the both of them. So the only problem is people try to do guesswork. Right, so there's this saying that people say, why will you pay for mentorship programs and all of that kind of stuff? But then you literally will pay to go for entertainment shows, which is actually not a problem.
VIP
so which is not even a problem.
Yes.
But then if it's something that requires you to learn a skill that can actually take you to the next level, life is all about taking chances. You are never 100% sure how the likelihood of your life would go. It's so crazy how none of us know. There's nobody that will ever interview and tell you that, oh, I know when I'm going to die. Nobody truly knows that. So you already know that that's already one chance that you're already taking at life. So it's not 100% guaranteed. So for me, I think it's very important that you should actually sit back and learn. Now, the likelihood of the learning process working for you or not, don't think about that. Actually focus on the learning first. Either you make money from it or not, then leave that one for the latter. But if you focus on like the major part, which is actually learning first, then just a chance that you can actually make a lot of money for yourself.
So definitely, if you actually learn, then there's some guarantee of continuity.
It's not because you have knowledge, and
as against hoping you make your breakthrough over some odds, right? So I've had some, let me see, a little bit experience in the betting space, right? And to a certain degree, I know one guy that betting is literally a source of income. Do you understand? And he believes so much in it. I've tried to convince him to let him know, like, I mean, at best, this should be a hobby.
If he's making money from it, it's hard to convince.
Yes, so there was a day, I've forgotten exactly what I wanted to pay for, but he had a reasonable bill, and this guy had I can't remember how much he had left, but he had to make the payments like the day after, and this guy threw everything he had into a couple of games, football games, and you know what?
Didn't come out.
He came out.
Came out well. Woo, okay.
So, and how do you not convince that guy, right? But
When he took the last chance, I mean,
he literally threw everything he had. He had at that moment, and he got what he wanted. But that was high risk. You understand? So, trying to convince that individual not to even go down that path, but it's a different case.
But sorry, such an act is that on its own not gambling?
It is. It is.
So
they call it going all in.
Going all in, yeah.
So the reason I asked that is this: now that if someone who is into FX trading now decides that I am looking at the way the Russia-Ukraine war and the
But people profited from that.
Again,
as traders,
that's
they made a ton of money.
And even the incursion into Yemen right now, they project what Trump is going to do and how that will affect the dollar. And they say, you know what? I know over the next 2 days, over the next 24 hours, this will happen, and they go all in. That is FX trading. Exactly. But that act, is it not gambling?
It is.
So
that's where the argument is. That's where the argument is. Yes.
So you said specifically that there was like a fundamental backing to a certain analysis, right? And then the person goes all in, right? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not in the betting space.
No, but go on. I will. I'm not a better, but I'll represent.
But for me, that is still going all in. It's still risk, right?
Yes.
But for me, it is still a calculated risk.
No, same thing. Footballers will tell you the same thing. The way Arsenal has bought new players this year, and looking at, they've gone 3 times second or so this year, and they just project that. Looking at all the odds, they're in their favor.
Yeah.
Just like all the odds were in the favor of the dollars. And they go all in.
Well, just like if Chelsea wants to play Arsenal now, for sure Chelsea will beat Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
And you put your money on
for sure.
Yes.
That's wishful
thinking. And Chelsea's going to beat Arsenal, or you put your money on Chelsea, right? But at the end of the day, it's still not a calculated risk.
Okay, so let me put this there. On an average, let's say you see, so me, I work with statistics a lot. So let's say on an average, you go all in regularly. Yeah. So on an average, you know that, let's say Man U plays, is it Arsenal we use as an example?
Chelsea beating Arsenal.
Chelsea beating Arsenal.
Yes.
So let's say they play 10 times.
Yeah.
I work with statistics a lot. If the outcome is that maybe Chelsea beating Arsenal happened maybe 7 times, I would still go with Chelsea. Because I know that, the likelihood for me. So we do something in trading. It's called 10 trade rule. So the 10 trade rule is, for instance, now you can have like 10 different setups or like 10 different plans. So if you have like $1,000, you're going to risk $100 on every trade.
Yeah.
And then the likelihood will most likely mean you're risking $100 to potentially make maybe like 150, 300, like 300 USD as like your return. So if you are risking, there is no how, even if you have your first 2 trades has like a loss, the third one could potentially be a win, recovering back the first, second, and then giving you that potential profit. But in the betting space, is that possible?
Yes.
How?
So if let's work with the same figures you're talking about. $1,000, right? And I pull out 100 to make
per game.
Per game.
So that's like game. 10 different games.
Yeah. Okay, so 10 different games. So you have a lot of options, right? Odds. There's I know there's a straight win. There's also a certain amount of goals, amount of corner kicks, amount of throw-ins. You understand? I don't bet to.
Well, you have this much information.
I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends that bet. So I just hear them through those odds. You get so. If a Man City is playing a championship ship team, for instance, you already know the odds are against the lesser team, right?
Yes.
Against Man City. So you probably pick Man City winning, right? You get, and you narrow down your bets, right? So it's such that the outcome probability of it coming out is very high. Do you understand? The no-brainer kind of bet option.
No-brainer.
Yeah, so you put your money on that, and to a certain degree, and they even have the option to cash out. So you don't even wait for the game to end. Your money's free to you.
Like I said, you said you have friends that gamble.
Yes.
So I happen to know a couple people too that do. And I've seen case scenarios where if you want to cash out, you cash out little to no amount of money.
That depends on how much you invested. Definitely not $100. You get, so so the point of view really is they are both high risk ventures, right? But the difference is
clear. I mean, if you ask me, it's clear. But I don't have anything against people that do betting.
Why not?
Like I say, like everybody has individual preferences.
Yeah, of course.
But then for me, they are not in the same context. But yes, they both have high risks that could potentially give you high returns. But same thing too. The fact that they have high risks too still signifies that they have systems that give you opportunity to also take low risks. You know, I personally have somebody that has been trading for 17 years. This might even sound crazy. He has been trading for 17 years and he has never lost any money in trading before.
Wow.
I don't just have to mention his name because it's very popular. But like he has never. Like when he told me, though he uses a bot. But then imagine somebody using trading maybe $20,000 account and you're risking very little on the account. So every month is probably okay. He has what he does, like a main business. So it's just doing it by itself. Some people just really love the whole thing that comes to trading. So and then he targets, imagine trading maybe a 20K and then you're targeting he's just targeting
21 or
10% a month.
Yeah.
So 10% a month, trust me, that is little to no risk. Yeah. Some people literally put in 20K, are ready to make 40K in a month. And it has potential high risk. So the same way trading has high risks, which can give high returns, it has an option for you to take low risk. But most people would not go for the option. And I tell people every time that if you are starting with very minimal capital and you truly want to potentially make a lot of money out of trading, it is stupid to risk low. But if you have the capital, for instance, now is high risk, high return, low risk, low return. But if you have bigger capital, for instance, now, it gives you the opportunity that, okay, at least in a month, on an average, I can make probably 5%, 10%, and I'm good, and all of that. But somebody that's maybe trading with $50, how many percent are you targeting on $50 account?
You can't. And so, because India, for instance, recently banned, real money online betting, citing harm and capital flights. It also has a growing Forex market from about $32 billion in 2022 to $60 billion in 2024. So if Nigeria were to consider a similar ban, really, should we worry about more about dollars leaving via betting?
What do you mean dollars leaving?
So because of the ban, right? The ban in India, right? It was generally to curb betting, right? And also because there's also what's the word? Let me explain it. Harm and capital flight. It also has a growing forex market, right? And because of that, someone had because of the betting. Sorry, it had a drop. It affected the forex market.
India banned betting or trading?
Yeah,
both.
So I'm trying to. I can't see my figures well, but generally the idea for the ban really, was to generally curb financial harm and capital flight. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So if Nigeria adopts that ban as well, do you think it's favorable for us, for either both forex trading or
betting? For us to adopt it
in the first place.
Okay, I get it. So the adoption in particular, if you ask me, obviously I can't vote for the other.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they were to, I think the only thing they probably would do is maybe to put a couple of measures in place to ensure that I know a couple of people that have made money from betting, and I know people that have actually lost money through betting. So I think for me, it's more about what the people want and whatever they choose to use their money for. Right now, it doesn't necessarily mean they can use it to do this, they can use it to do that, and all of that. But then that is another, sector or another thing or another source. I tell people, I say the amount of money that you can lose when you trade, is calculatable. Which means if you deposit $200 in your trading account, maybe you were greedy, maybe this, whatever, maybe bad trades, whatever, you cannot lose more than what you have. But the money you can potentially make, if it goes in your favor, is unpredictable. Like, you cannot put a measure to that. So for me, that is where I know a lot of people that have built houses, done a lot of successful things, have a stable business with that. So, restricting people from doing that instead of taking a lot of people means of livelihood. So, and then I don't think that would be fair, if you ask me. So I do think that you could put a couple of measures in place, just to make sure that, okay, you are sure that maybe the platforms that are providing services for your people are not, doing things back end.
Yeah.
For instance, now you could have maybe a case scenario where maybe you place a bet and then there's a program. I don't know how to do it, but I'm sure that there'll be a programming behind, and then the whole thing it goes south. Or maybe you pick a trade, and maybe you're expecting your trade should go well, and then you have a broker that is behind, doing all sorts. So maybe if they put regulatory measures in place to ensure that, okay, it's fair on both the broker's end and then the end user, making sure that, okay, people are not being cheated. Because when you make money, because I've heard people when they make money, even some betting companies will not pay them. So, all of that. So for me, it's just like putting measures in place. I mean, and I think it should be good.
Remember the context, right? Which of these acts, right? That's forex trading or betting. Which of them actually is more danger to the financial household?
Okay, so for me, right?
Yeah.
If I was to say, I would say trading has more benefits. Why? Because aside from the fact that you get to make potential money from trading, it gives you so much knowledge about the finance space. Vast knowledge. Like, you really would ask me about most politicians that has a lot of, influence on the news that I wouldn't know. So, that way, you would hardly even see somebody that's trading that doesn't love the topic finance or economics.
Yeah.
So for me, it gives you this perspective because now you're familiar with GDP, you're familiar with non-farm payrolls, you're familiar with the interest rates, you're familiar with the birth rate, the economy, how it flows, and the things that make an economy an economy. Now, the money flow, the inflow, the outflow, how transactions going. So it's more of a knowledge thing. It makes you feel good that you are aware of what is happening in your society. You're not just living. A lot of people are just living. They're not really existing like that. They're just there. They don't really know.
Whole lot.
So there's a difference between living and existing. So the people are just there. Okay, what's happening? Okay, we are making money, but how is the money actually happening? So for me, financial literacy is key.
Yeah.
So if you are able to learn, now you are aware. At least you're not doing something that you are not aware of. So now that you have the knowledge, for me, I think trading still plays a very big role.
Yeah, so definitely, we've I hope we've clarified and answered the questions to our audience in regards to this comparison. I don't know why you guys forced our hand, but we hope we've tried to clarify it a bit. And Oluwatoyosi is obviously has a bias towards forex trading, which I actually align with you, to be honest, because forex trading definitely has, as much as it's a high risk process, right? It still comes with a lot of learning and should I say moral constraints. Is that the way it is? Because with forex trading, if you lose money, you're probably not the only one that's lost money trying to apply yourself that day. But betting can get reckless and wreck you in so many ways, right? The average forex trader is not going to go and take everything he has to go and.
I'm going to see something like that when I'm.
But the average bettor is probably has higher chances of going home and taking everything, whatever he has, and throwing it, into it. So definitely, I'm on the forex trading side in regards to this as well. So we have little time, but say what you want to say.
Okay, so I wanted to say something before we go, and it's about people have different misconception, I always say, and it's very, very important that you don't just dabble into trading you acquire like the skill. Now you learn. Learning doesn't mean you need to pay somebody. I think YouTube has a lot of free courses. You need to get a mentor. Like without a mentor, it looks like you're blind. So you need somebody that their life, goals or the things that they want for themselves sort of falls in line in where you see yourself or what you want to do. So it's not about the old flashy cars, the lifestyle. No, that's good. Everybody wants a taste of freedom. But it's very important that you look for somebody. You can search for a proper mentor. You look for somebody that the way you see the picture of their life, at least you might not know everything about them. Nobody knows everything about anybody except you get close to them. But at least based off of what you see, you love the course of their life. So you sort of want to be on that path. So you need somebody that can guide you, not just on how you make money, how you spend your money and the things you use your money for. So making money is random. Now, any usual person can make money. Where people have issues with is how they manage their resources and how they, use their money for futuristic growth. And you'll be shocked on the things you spend your money on once you start documenting them.
Sorry, guys, we have to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this. Whatever it is you are doing, betting or forex trading, please get a mentor. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care.
All right.
Bye.